Welcome to Raise the Bar, episode 10. We're live from Virginia Beach. We obviously have a guest in person here at the Doubletree Oceanside.
Very special guest.
I'm special.
Episode.
Very special. We're going
That
Gen
was
Z.
really special. I don't know if that was a compliment or didn't sound
Always
like one.
compliment. Always compliment.
We're very complimentary here, but we like to be candid, but we're very complimentary.
Okay.
Are you recording? Yeah, you are. You're good. You're doing your job, Jimmy. You're doing your job. Yeah, we're live here from Virginia Beach. They were just practicing. It's a progression, so we kick off tomorrow. Who are you playing with this week?
Christian.
Oh!
Yeah, I'm playing with Christian. Yeah.
That's
just kidding.
a big... I know. Just, okay.
I'm going to watch every single match of yours.
Yes.
If I'm not on court, I'm going to be on your court.
No,
Can
Christian.
I be on your bench?
You can be anywhere you want to be.
Okay.
You can be on the bench as long as I'm already sitting on the bench, and then you sit on top of me. We might have to take this one out already.
No. We're gonna.
But anyway,
continue.
let me
That's
just
good,
make
yeah.
sure I'm
So
happy to play with Christian. I'm excited to play with Christian. Christian's playing obviously super well, and I'm only just joking. Yeah, super excited, and I would never say anything bad about Christian in front of Ryan.
Yeah, ranchers rise up.
Christian
Giddy up. Not
is
a
his
big deal.
favorite person.
I really appreciate Christian. He's very good. He's a good dude. And your mutual beef together was WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sure there's some undertones of like, hey, we're two young guys trying to compete in this sport, but there's also a little bit of manufactured, like, kind of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I wanted to pick somebody to beef with who would be easy to just be funnier than, and that's why I chose Christian.
You're dialed. Luckily, we started this pod early, so
Just
you get to
kidding.
bed. So you're playing with Christian in men's. Who are you playing with in mixed?
Meg Dazan.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, first time partnership with both.
First time with both. Yeah, I mean, I've practiced with both of them. Megan and I practiced against Viv and Dekel. We were down 24-15, and then we brought it back to 27-27, and then they stopped the play.
We stopped the play?
No, this lady
Yeah.
came in.
Oh, yeah.
and
We
she
got
was
a
like,
little clinic there, so it was really unfortunate.
but we fought.
You had the momentum.
That's a killer.
Yeah.
That's a killer. You also played a lot more rec that week in New York, but we don't have to go into that right now.
Good.
Virginia Beach, speaking of, we chatted a little bit before. First time here. Maybe last time. or one day in.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Do you want me to expand on that? I can expand.
No,
I mean, nobody
There's
lives
no
here.
offense to Virginia Beach. There's no Virginia Beach pros. And we're a new podcast, so, we're not.
No.
Millions aren't tuning in. But I described it as Daytona Plus. It's a little bit elevated from there. If you like the beach, it's probably plus. It's a very nice boardwalk and beach. But other than that, it's not probably the greatest place to be for 6 or 7 days on the road when you guys are on the road.
Yeah.
Let's go. It's September. If you didn't know, it's going to be October soon. But how would you grade your year?
My year? Well,
So far.
Yeah, I would say
There's
probably.
quite a few things remaining.
Yeah, I think B-, I would say. Like, decent. But it was weird. I had like a 3-month, maybe 2.5-month period with the shoulder.
Yeah.
And I kind of tried to come back too early. It kind of bled into the following tournaments. I've had a little bit of ups and downs, but I would say B-, which for me in college was pretty good.
Nice. Dekel, what would you say? Would you grade him as a friend and also a DC teammate as a B-?
Yeah, I think for what I think he could do,
Sure,
I would do.
yeah.
Yeah, I think B- is about right, or maybe even a little bit less.
I think it would have been a B if you had gone to the
But this is
finals in
just-
Sacramento with Ben.
This is just because I think you can be just previous results, or like maybe how you started the year, or. Dude,
Any number of ways he's trying to say you've underdelivered for how you've used to perform and the ceiling that you have. So thank you, Dekel.
It's messed up.
Yeah,
He's
very
saying
nice.
it. He's touching
Well, it's funny.
touching my knees. We're touching knees, and he's roasting me.
We got
messed
two
up.
big bodies over here.
No, I like it.
But, I mean, it's always delicate for players to talk about other players because I think the thing, and I can't speak to this with #NoTennis, but here, because of the team event and because of continually mixing partners, there's always these like fluid dynamics of like you can't really speak about. You may have to be someone's teammate or you may have to be playing with them in rec in your hometown twice a week, or it's just so it's not incestuous, but it's just small.
Wait,
and it's always.
I think it was like 8 A. I don't want to say 8 plus, but like. Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
Because we were still teammates, right?
Well, yeah, and you also no, it's a real thing though. Like you need friends. You know, if you're just a singles player, you could just hypothetically just talk mad shit about everybody.
Yeah.
But you need people to. You don't want to be that guy who everybody hates, and then you don't get the partners you want.
Yeah.
Like you don't want that to be a problem.
Yeah.
So.
Which I've always found it weird for the people that like are known as like the hooks, where like they really isolate themselves when you need everything you can. You need benefit of the doubt. You need good word of mouth. You need comfort, and I think it is a grind to be on the tour in Virginia Beach and Atlanta and everywhere. And it's like you want to go out to dinner with people after you played rec, but it's like you can't if people think you're a hook or not a nice person. So, anyways, next question. What's the smartest thing you've done in your pickleball career?
Well, smartest thing I've done.
We're gonna get a James answer, and then I want to
was
raise
thinking,
the bar.
I was thinking of something funny, but no. I mean, the real answer is definitely just convincing Ryan Fu and Max Freeman to quit their jobs and then come play pickleball with me, and then run my newsletter, YouTube channel, Instagram, and everything. Like, it's been so massive for the brand. And I'm kind of just hands off with a lot of it. And really, it's just I like coaching a lot, and helping people get better every day is super rewarding for me. And I know people might think I'm joking, but it's actually super cool.
You live and breathe it. Like if anyone tunes into the pod, which he's been doing for how long? A year?
A year now.
Yeah, a year, like weekly. You can, I think, not blowing smoke. I think you can tell that James lives and breathes it.
For sure.
Watches tape, and connects it to the world of 3-0, 3-5, 4-0. It's like it's not just
totally.
Here's what we do at pro. It's here's how you can get better in your rec match.
Yeah, I mean, and one of the other things I think that's cool about coaching pickleball is it's so new. There's really not a lot of like generally accepted like this is how you should do this and this is how you should do that. Like in tennis, if I came out as
cool. Like it's one of the best things about pickleball.
Totally. Like if I was a tennis coach, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I was like I would. Who cares? Like everybody already knows the right way to play.
Yeah.
But pickleball is changing every 6 months. Something's new.
Well, Dekel's not really open to evergreen ideas. I've been trying to teach him how to Ernie.
Is it the Ernie one? I can't, okay, I'm gonna save you guys like the time.
No.
Let's not go over this. This is
No, we're not gonna do it. We may do a juicy tidbit proposal, and I may have to do it on my own. Dekel doesn't want to be in the video. But anyways,
the idea Ryan has
James,
about an Ernie. I completely disagree with it, and I'm vetoing it.
okay, I'll have to do it under pickleball, then not raise the bar.
Do it on the lab.
We'll get to Max and Ryan helping you build and grow. What's one thing you've changed your mind the most on? Like, what did you believe?
That's a good question.
What did you believe that as a player that you don't necessarily do now in game style, or what did you believe about building a pickleball career that you're like now kind of 180 and fully bought in on?
I think one of the things this is interesting. I mean, I don't know if this is actually a good answer, but I'm going to try my best.
Yeah, just
so
riff with us.
I used to like PPA a lot better than MLP. I think a lot of people knew that, and I just kind of felt like PPA was higher quality. It is like at the top of the game. It's like higher level because you pick your partners, and I think it was something where I thought it was cool how you watch the finals of a PPA, and that's the best possible product pickleball could be. The finals of men's doubles at a PPA, and I thought that was cool. But I've had a ton of fun playing Major League Pickleball, and also I've been watching. I watch all the YouTube. I watch all the pickleball possible, and
much fun to watch.
Yeah, like I just found I wasn't even trying to feel any certain way about it, but I found myself more engaged, having more fun watching MLP matches. So I don't know. I mean, I like both, but I'm not going to make any crazy statements, but that is how I felt.
That's cool. I think that's an honest one, and it's tough to figure out which one will play out the best, or if it does need to be a hybrid. But that's an interesting thing. I mean, I think when the DC MLP, I had shared. I was on the story. I was like, "Is MLP back?" Because we hadn't had a few events like that, and you guys did such a good job in your hometown and with Adam, like activating the fan base, and it was like the music, the DJ was good, the fans were packed. It was like, it was hot, and they were out there, and it was like, you got the chills. That was like OG MLP kind of vibe and raucous energy. And then I think New York was just another one where
Yeah.
you're like, hey, it's not every single time that this is hitting, but more often than not, it's pretty special. And if you're there, I think it's kind of like a conversion moment.
Yeah, the atmosphere in both was so much fun. Just so much
Yeah.
fun. The crowd really brought it, and honestly, both felt like home crowds for DC,
Oh,
DC
cool.
and New York.
Cool flex. Yeah, it was it was a little
It's
weird.
like
I mean,
both
the
of them
tri-state
is-
teams.
Yeah, both of them is
Yeah.
Adam just bringing.
Yeah.
Adam's the
all-
best.
Okay.
Adam's a different breed.
We shouldn't be shouting at Adam too much. We know he
Oh,
watches
sorry.
the pod. Thank you. But
he
that's
does?
this is 2 episodes in a row. He's getting a big shout out. We got to keep him
I-
hungry.
I
We got to
gotta-
keep him hungry.
Actually, I have a question for James.
Yeah.
Who would you rather have on an island with you that has pickleball?
Mm-hmm.
Adam, Josh, or Kyle for a week?
Oh.
That's a
But
good one.
am I training?
You can train, but I mean, Adam.
I-
would-
You have to-
like,
that's
a
Adam
good
is
question.
Fine, but he's
Okay.
not
Yeah,
as
it's a
good as-
great
as
question,
Kyle
Dekel.
or
That's a
Josh.
really good question.
That's one I didn't even
Because
give
then you
you.
got to consider there's a bunch of
A
different
lot of
factors.
things, yeah, and it does have a pickleball court, so it's
Okay.
You know,
And yeah, I mean, there's different factors. Adam is probably the coolest guy outside of Dekel Bar that I've ever met in my life. But Kyle can play. Kyle can feed. Do we have balls? Do we have a basket?
yes, you have the pickleball.
Give me Kyle. I want to
Wow.
train. Look, I mean, because
No.
Kyle's a great guy too. Adam is obviously special, but me and Kyle get physical. I mean,
Yes.
I think one thing that people
We
don't
also get
realize.
physical with Josh.
Me and Josh get mildly physical, but the things that Kyle and I do are almost, you can't even speak about them. I would say one thing that people don't realize, I've probably used Kyle more than all of the past DC players combined. Would you say?
Yeah.
That's a ricochet shot to Christian, but
Oh, he doesn't need
even
it.
better.
He's so
Yeah,
good.
James like doubled down.
No, he's so
Yeah.
good he doesn't need Kyle. I need the extra Kyle in my life.
No, Kyle and Christian were on that like Atlanta backcourt, just drilling, some right side dinks for days. But no, that's an interesting. Kyle, you really squeezed as much
Out of
training
Kyle.
juice, yeah.
Yeah,
out
no,
of Kyle.
I'll do anything with Kyle.
You should be. Hey, verbal DM to you if you ever want to thank him. Buy him more Lululemon. That was his first time into Lululemon. He was like, it looks good. He could rock it.
Okay.
Um,
He's thick in the lower body in all the right ways.
he's thick.
Kyle is he's got.
He's built. He's Pacific Northwest built.
That's what I'm saying.
One last question, more generally, as a player, what's the thing you're still most confused by? So it's an ongoing equation. Things are changing. Power levels, grit levels, play styles.
Yeah.
There's
There's a bunch of things. One of the things that I'm these are good questions, by the way. Did you spend a lot of time on these? Or are you just that good?
in the Uber, in the Uber over here.
Okay,
Yeah.
so no. So he's just that good, is his answer.
Yeah, I'm
He's
just
very
that
good.
Honestly, what I'm most confused by is the future of pickleball a really aggressive right-sider, or is it not an aggressive right-sider? Because the trend looks like it's a really aggressive right-sider that takes a lot of court, and maybe not necessarily a lot of court, but at least is, like, for example, with Gabe pulling a lot, Christian
Yeah.
taking a lot of court.
Yeah.
But it's also like, is that definitely the new meta of pickle, or is it kind of just a trend? Because the other thing I think that you might notice with men's doubles, the results, there's so much parity.
Yeah.
There's like almost, you don't want to say anything can happen because there's better teams and there's worse
Yeah.
teams, but it's really, I don't know if we should put so much stock in it saying, you have to have an aggressive right sider, that's the way
Yeah.
to play. It's not how Ben and Colin play, or because Ben and Colin did win the last tournament,
Yeah.
but Ben's also the best player by a lot, probably.
Yeah.
So-
two Bens clean up. if
Yeah,
they're in
so
every
it's
tournament,
just
yeah.
there's so many different things to think of. So I actually don't know what the answer is for men's.
Yeah.
That would be my thing.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I would say there would be just a lot of different options. I think the way Gabe is playing is one option, and there's still room for how Colin plays, but maybe a little bit more an aggressive style, which he seems to be adapting to and trying to be more aggressive, but still not like a right side dominant. So I think we'll have a few different options just according to what works with the left side player as well. Like for example, Federico is a great left side player, but he's not a super dominant takes a lot of court left side player. So him and someone like Gabe work very well.
Yep.
But let's say maybe Ben and Gabe is a little bit they clash a little bit. So I don't know. I'm sure they'll be a great team together regardless. But the way they play clash a little bit. So that's why a Colin, but maybe a little bit more aggressive Colin is the best for Ben. So I just think I don't think there's one right answer. Just like there's not one right answer how to hit a drop, like, and the technique and everything, and like there's just so many ways to play pickleball, and there will be so many ways to play as a left side player as well.
Yep.
Well said.
What a great answer. Better answer than mine.
No.
I feel a little
Well,
bad.
Open question though. It is. I think it like, especially in men's doubles, it feels like Tetris pieces, and like a Gabe and a Christian have shown that like there's a new Tetris piece that is compatible with the right left sider. And there may be another Gabe or Christian out there, but I don't know if the default is going to be a Christian and Gabe. And they're kind of outliers by the fact that they're so good, and so long, and wanting to invest in that. But speaking to your points earlier about Max and Ryan, you've kind of built a platform. I know that's a kind of a generalized, sexy business term, but you really do have like this platform of players that you help bring up and put on the map that train with you, and can obviously try to get results on their own. So that's Max and Ryan, and I think there's some others in the past. You've got content, weekly podcast, weekly newsletter, really focused on instructional and helping people scratch that itch to get better. Then you have instructional in person, a lot of time on court with camps regionally. And it's kind of like this virtuous flywheel. As you get better and more known, people want to come to the camps, and then they want to support you, tune in weekly if they can't even be there. So it's impressive. I think not many people have really done it. Obviously, if you could draw it up, you'd be great in results, and you'd be, and then all the other things kind of flow. But it really takes a conscious effort. When did you really decide to do that and say, hey, it's more than just finishing high on pickleball brackets?
Yeah, I mean, I think that one of the reasons that I brought Ryan and Max in, and I think why I'm really invested in them, kind of growing their brand and getting good, is because I'm dialing back the clinics. So I was teaching a ton of clinics before, and in the last 2 months, I've only taught 2 clinics.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to teach less, and at this point, like, I don't really need the money anymore. So it's kind of like, okay, not that I was doing it for money, I was doing it to help the game, whatever.
Yeah.
No, obviously.
Yeah.
But so like really it's trying to just maybe teach like, a couple times a month at most, just so I'm teaching and, showing face.
Connected. You're connected.
Boots on the ground.
Yeah.
But really, I think like the main thing for me is just the newsletter, the YouTube, and all that stuff, because at the end of the day, like if you have a big audience that really likes you and really wants to hear from you and everything, you can sell anything, you can promote anything. So just growing that and just trying to always be authentic too, like make people laugh. I think, a lot of our last videos we've tried to be funny.
Yes,
So.
I think you do a good job with that.
We're trying. So that's what we're doing.
I like Max's
Paddle throw?
impersonation of Tanner. Like,
Which one?
I can teach you like something in 30.
yeah.
It was like it's supposed to 60 seconds, but he looks right in the camera. I can teach you 30 seconds, and it's a good bit.
And one other thing too on Max and Ryan that people don't know, Max and Ryan and I have been best friends since we were 10 years old. So
cool.
It's not like they're just like my friends. Like we actually we've had a group chat that we've been in, just the 3 of us and one other guy who has since disappeared. We don't know where he's at. Actually, he's doing really well. He's like a senior analyst at Carlisle, so he's doing amazingly. And he just got too smart for us, too good. But we've been in this group chat, the 3 of us, since we were 10, and we've talked in it like every day.
That's
so
cool.
people think it's kind of
awesome.
Girls think it's cute, guys think it's a little. You know what I mean?
No,
so I don't
no.
I don't really know how I feel about it.
Girls would think it's precious.
For sure.
Very
So I only tell it to girls.
Yeah. Okay.
Or guys,
Well, now you're telling it
guys.
to all
You're
7,000 subscribers. No,
I guess
we're trying to play catch up with you.
I felt safe with guys like Ryan, a little more, closer to the. I mean, not saying he's I'm just saying
it's a spectrum.
Yeah,
It's a
exactly.
spectrum.
He's on the spectrum.
Yeah.
And we can just move on.
That's cool. No, it's fine. Max, is this contentious that you had Max as your men's partner in Vegas as opposed to Ryan?
No, so the only
That's
reason.
a good question. We're going to. That's a capital J journalist
Yep,
question.
You
that
got one
is.
with Ryan soon?
No,
Why?
I got none with Ryan because
Why not?
Ryan's a left side alpha, and
Okay.
I couldn't put him on the right. No, the real reason is because I wasn't even going to play Vegas. I wasn't planning on playing.
I hear this too often from players who like just say last minute, like they're not going to play it.
Well, this was
And then-
the only time all year. This was the only tournament all year where I had a last minute. Because all my other times I had good
There's a
partners.
lot of changes in the schedule and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, or we just change tournaments that we want to or not want to.
But it feels like a convenient like excuse for any like bad result
also-
or outlier good result, funky partner.
It's
You know,
also
it's kind
a-
of just
it's
like,
also
I
a great
wasn't
excuse,
even
yeah.
planning on it.
I will tell you why.
I
played
wasn't even
Vegas.
planning on going to Virginia Beach.
No, that's the thing. So like I would like Virginia Beach is something that you planned out a while back.
Yeah.
But Vegas, I could easily be convinced to go to Vegas.
Yeah.
So I wasn't planning on playing it, and then I was like, okay, who can I get? At the end of it, I was like 3 days before the
You
deadline.
put it on the story.
Yeah, I put it on my Instagram story. I
Yeah.
said, who wants to play with me?
Was that real?
Yeah, I was just.
Well,
gonna
I
see who we
mean,
had.
yeah, but you have that group chat that you've been in with Max since.
Well, so
age
Max
10.
wasn't gonna play either, and then I had to like.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
Max replied to your story and was like, "Hey James, my bestie." That's
That's exactly what
Like,
happened.
okay.
What makes you think
Okay.
that didn't happen? And then Vivian.
I feel like you would have asked him first and then gone to the story if he couldn't have done it.
Well, I want to make sure I could get somebody better if I could.
Okay.
So that's what I
Yeah,
did.
okay.
So, but no, so then Vivian had no partner. I guess she wasn't even playing, and she's obviously a good player. So to play with her and then to play with Max, I was like, okay, this is going to be awesome to play with Max and have that chance to like just go to Vegas for probably 3 or 4 days. Not going to
Yeah.
be in the tournament for a whole long time. 4 days in Vegas, have fun, stay at the Fountain Blue, lose some money.
Nice.
You know, that's what I did. I went in with the intention of like, okay, I'm not going to win at the tables. And then I felt like a winner after I lost. And yeah, and me and Max should have
Yeah.
won. Max played amazing.
Yeah, I saw we were
Matt?
playing the winners, and I saw Max played so good, and you guys were up by a lot.
People were like,
Yeah.
like the Google search query for like Max Freeman pickleball was like,
Yeah.
you know.
I know.
No,
Yeah.
he's. And
just
we'll
the
get to
beginning.
He
him.
played
We'll get to
really
him.
well against us too. Like me and Colin
He's-
almost lost to him and Ryan first round the previous week.
Oh, yeah,
he
yeah.
had
In
two
Utah,
close
yeah.
ones.
Yep.
2 almost good wins.
And he picked up a paddle in February.
Yeah, that's
I
crazy.
know.
He has a lot of talent. Lefty, a lot of
Lefty.
power.
He's already got like craftiness. And
Handsome.
I'm gonna shout out Jaume here.
Yep.
I was talking with Jaume on the courts and we were trying to like work on the two-handed speed up a little bit, and he saw me do it once and he was like, I'm not going to impersonate his accent, but he was like, your body has to tell a story. And I thought that was so cool. He was like, your body has to tell a story and then you can do it, right? And
Oh,
he's like,
that's
your body's
hilarious.
not telling
What-
a story.
what do you
But
tell
Max
when-
is.
when you're hitting
but,
I mean, the story that I tell when I hit a backhand dink is that, yeah, like, I'm on a lot of caffeine.
yeah. Get to the outside of the ball, crouch,
Yeah.
move arms
Shout
up.
out to Rain.
Yeah.
Yeah. I play like
But-
I play like a complete bot.
Yeah, no, you are.
Like a
Well,
literal-
we'll get to another bot player. One sec. But Max, I saw him in Kansas City, and he had the gearbox at the time, but he was doing like crafty shit.
He's nothing like me.
No, but he's doing crafty, like
Yeah.
smooth deception, and I'm like, oh, he's definitely. You don't get that in month 7, typically.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, shout out to Max.
And
'cause
guess
he's
what?
got some touch. He's telling a story with his body.
And
He's
he's
got good
subscribed
hands.
to the newsletter.
Ah.
See, that's a good. I mean, if there's
Yeah.
I couldn't think of a better, advertisement for my coaching
Clip it.
than Max
No.
Freeman himself. I mean, he's been playing for 7 months. He's a 6'2" duper, and
Yeah, it's
James got the entire DC
Well-
national mall event to subscribe to his newsletter.
every
And,
single person left
and
subscribed.
like they should. So go subscribe to his
they're
newsletter.
brick by brick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think Max is one of the few, and it's like probably every few months where you come across someone who's got a true high level tennis background, is just kind of a raw athlete, and you're like, like the way they're just gonna pick it up and do well, and if they're in the same area as you, you're in the Boca hotspot, so he's gonna have quality partners, be in the main draw
For sure.
And
overnight.
it was
Boom.
funny, like watching you guys play together. I think I told you this, like, because you were very like internal when you were playing, like just like you're within yourself, and like you don't say too much during the match. And Max was like the same, just a little bit like calmer with his
Yeah,
body.
for sure.
So like both of you are just not talking at all, and you're like guys are best friends, and just there's 0 words, and you just
I know.
know it's kind of like
It's like-
Ben and
or
Colin a
the-
little bit.
Or the QB and the wide receiver, they don't really have to signal much, but you just know like they're gonna find each other.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what he's gonna do. I literally built him.
Okay. Well, we're another person you built, and I haven't met him, but Ryan Fu. Shout
Yep.
out to the Ryans.
Yep.
I played rec with him or against him a few times in Kansas City, and I thought it was a bit. I thought he was doing a bit of you, because it is a true copy paste, like Command C if you got a Mac, Command C, Command V. It is scary how much he plays like. I think he plays as you. It's not even plays like you. He plays as you. Like the feet moving, the serve, the wristy serve falling into the court, the like crouch down, two-handed roll, cross-court dink, like everything.
Does he have the James like flick?
Yes.
The flip,
What do you mean? I mean, he has it. It's probably not
Just not
James
at
level
the-
right now. But
Everything. I would say this, Ryan.
But how do you get a fellow friend and young man to like step into your shoes as a method actor?
No, I never. That's a great question. I never told him to do that because I respect Ryan. I don't want Ryan to get made fun of. He's getting made fun of every time he steps out there.
I'm not making fun.
No,
I'm
it's not just you,
sharing.
it's
It
everybody.
feels.
It's everybody.
It feels like a like.
Do you enjoy it?
Well, I would say this. Of course I do. It's hilarious. But
Yeah.
Ryan looks like if there was, there's nobody who could imitate me and it would be more accurate. Like his imitation
No,
is
it's-
unbelievably good. But I never told him to play like that. I'm going to clear the record here because people are saying, "Oh, James, you forced him to play that way." No. All that happened was we played together, he watched me, and he just copied my whole style, everything. And he'll tell you this. I was like, "Dude, what are you doing?" Like
That's
he was
a huge
literally
compliment.
Well, yeah, he was doing
It-
everything the exact
yeah.
same. And I was like, dude, you can play your own way. I told him this 3 months in. I said, Ryan, like, you can, and he was like a 5-0 at this time. Like, you can play your own game, you can do your own thing. And he's like, I am. What do you mean? Do I look like you?
Stop.
That's what he said. He's like, do I look like you or something? And I was
Yeah.
like, yes.
That's weird. Yes. That
I'm just so magnetic.
It's literally the Spider-Man meme where they're both like pointing at each other. It's almost like Ben and Fed and like James and Ryan.
Well, me and
Like,
Ryan are even closer than Ben and Fed.
No, you guys,
100%.
you guys are like the kaleidoscope thing that I shared with like Yates and Hunter. They both like go for the third in the same exact way, and they converge in this middle spot, and they both. It's weird. But shout out to Ryan Fu. He's starting to get results.
He's
Eric
gonna be
Roddy
good.
said he had a lot of fun playing with him in Atlanta. Like they gave Jaume and Tyson the good
Yeah,
battle.
shout out to Ryan. He's the best. He does
Yeah.
the newsletter stuff. He had great ideas for our protest.
Yeah.
He's super productive, great guy to have on the team, and I think he's gonna be good. I think he's gonna be really good.
Yeah. What's the most fun thing to wrap up this platform? You've built your brand, done a lot of content, helping connect with amateurs. Like, what's been the most fun thing that sharing your perspective on pickleball has like led to?
There's
Not
a
just like
couple
okay,
things.
there's money, there's people who sign up for the camps, there's subscribers, but like, is there like
Yeah.
a one-off?
I have a good
Like,
answer.
okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean maybe actually now there's a lot of pressure on me.
Oh, good answer. Graham. It better
No,
be
it's funny
fucking
because
good.
I anybody who knows me, which is probably none of you guys, like who really knows me from when I was younger or anything like in college. I never expected that more than one person at a time would be listening to the things I say. And like it is kind of fun. It's kind of crazy. It feels weird that I have this podcast and there's thousands of people who are legitimately tuning in, listening to the things that I say. And it does surprise me every time because
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm worthy of it. But it's
great
also
song.
well maybe I don't really
Or
know.
are you doing it? I mean, 80% is doing it.
Well,
And
yeah.
putting yourself out there.
And
Yeah.
it also it is fun. I think teaching the clinics is fun. Bringing everybody in, telling my jokes. I've got a few jokes that I like to say. I've got like 3 or 4 jokes that always work.
And give us one.
No.
No?
No, it's like asking a person
I'm
to
not-
stand up to be funny. Dekel, that's no. We're not,
I'm not
It's
doing
always
it.
gonna underdeliver.
Yeah, no, I can't.
You got to go and sign up for the camp.
Got to sign up for the camp.
See,
There you go.
Dekel, come on, be a
But
business
that is
guy.
fun.
Come
we
on.
make the camps
That's cool.
fun, and having people who actually listen, seriously, kind of like actually listen and value what I say. If I can make anybody better with something
Yeah.
that I say, it is cool. Because I remember when I was getting started 2.5 years ago, like I would watch the pros, and like for example, like Dekel, I was like, how is he earning this stuff? Like I remember everything because it wasn't that long ago, and I'm watching like Riley hit with a 2-handed backhand. Ben, I was like. Pfft. It's like it's like watching Federer in tennis. Like,
Yeah,
you can't
yeah.
try to copy that. I was like, I'm nothing like that guy. I'm never gonna make that happen. But it really is kind of cool that other people will now sometimes watch me or listen to me and try to implement that stuff. It is pretty rewarding.
Literally, it's just Ryan Fu is every listener. It's only him.
Just
It's-
Ryan
Yeah, he's
over
like
and over and
6,000
over.
tabs. It's like I will suck down everything.
We
from
have a
James.
really funny video coming out.
Okay.
Where it's like Ryan, like me, like I'm not gonna explain.
Don't
but
give
it's
it
me.
away.
You know,
Don't give it away.
Just be ready. James Ignatowich YouTube.
On that note, any advice for us as amateur 5.0 podcasters?
For sure. I mean, as podcasters.
Yeah. Yeah, as 5-0 players. Yeah, come
No,
on.
I thought you were just. I thought Ryan was just asking for coaching advice.
Yeah, I would like some coaching advice too.
Oh, I mean, Dekel is just almost too talented for me to try to coach. I couldn't even. I'm nothing like him.
Oh, we're drifting.
But
Come
as
on.
a podcaster,
Yeah.
As a podcaster,
Do we just lean into the personality? Do we lean into instruction? Because at the end of the day, everybody just wants to get better. Like,
yeah, it's
or
tough.
just-
I mean, so this is a quick anecdote if I use that word right, which I'm
Yeah,
not sure. I'm
yeah.
in Virginia Beach. It's fine. So we don't have to have perfect.
That was his
grammar
goal
here
coming in.
Virginia Beach.
Drop anecdote.
So I used to have a podcast with like 1,000 listeners. Literally, like it would average like 1,000. Nobody
Yeah.
cared about it. It was me and Adam Stone. We would talk about pro player or whatever. Nobody
yeah.
really cares. And then I switched one day. Adam couldn't make it. I think he was maybe, I don't want to call him out. I don't know what he was doing the night before, but he couldn't make it. He couldn't make it to the pod. And I just recorded a solo podcast, 20 minutes. I just talked about instruction. And it got 16,000 views.
One
Um,
of it.
Now
One
my
of us
podcast-
has to quit.
Yeah, no, so
That's what you're saying.
that actually
Yeah.
brings me to
Or
the next
have
point.
a long night.
Yeah, so my advice would be, obviously my podcast got way better after that, would be Dekel, just kind of find a way to take out the raise the. Just make this the bar podcast. Just you, and Ryan can do his own thing.
Yeah,
Ryan's
sure.
got a lot of potential in other areas, maybe just not as a podcaster.
Love that. Thank you, James.
All right.
Okay. And
Tune in to the bar next week. We'll be here, same time, same place. Just no Ryan.
I'm glad we didn't name it Bald and Bar. Okay, we're gonna get to the last section. Training wise, you're a big touch guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a big.
Wait,
you're,
what are you
yeah,
saying?
You're a big touch guy. You know what I'm saying.
No, I like to get some touches.
But you're like max touches guy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you're trying to say, man.
No. But
I don't want you to
trying
touch
to
me.
say. No, you're trying. I'm trying to be serious here, James. No, because it's different. It's different than other people.
For sure.
He's
Right.
a big reps guy.
Big reps guy.
reps guy.
Okay,
Let's go with
synonymous.
reps.
Touch is reps. Yeah, big reps guy. You recently tried to recruit, maybe successfully. I think I saw someone young, maybe in the 4 or 5 range today. You're trying to get regional drillers. So wherever you and Max and Ryan are at a tournament, you're just going to get fed balls. You're going to get touches.
Yes.
That's a very interesting idea, and because it suits your game.
Yeah.
And 2, it's like more infrastructure on the platform. How are you doing with the recruitment?
Yeah, so we're all set for the year. We have our hitting partners set for the year.
Wow.
And we're doing it kind of regionally. So shout out to Ahmed, who we have this tournament. Ahmed is our hitting partner. He is out there grinding because so Max, Ryan, and I share Ahmed. So when Ahmed's getting paid well, he's having a lot of fun. And basically we have a bunch of Vulcan balls. We've got a basket. We've got Ahmed, and he will just feed balls all day, whether it's thirds, because I like being fed thirds from the baseline. I found that that's helping me a little more recently instead of just drilling thirds while the other person's at the kitchen.
Interesting.
It's a
Like
different,
more realistic.
yeah, it's a different
For the
type of
third,
timing.
yeah.
And if you've
But
got Ahmed on
after
your
a
side,
But what's
Yeah.
the nuance?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's more realistic, but like, what's the nuance? Like the flight of the ball, or the idea that like they may be coming in, or
both, yeah, just the timing of it. It's just a
Yeah.
different timing.
Got it.
And so that's one thing. And having him is good. I think more players should have just a guy where, if it's 20 minutes before my match,
Yeah.
I can just say, hey, Ahmed, let's go hit some balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's great.
Yeah.
It's like we talked about with Kwong and his dad, just like the specific type of training. So
Yeah.
he can help you with that. Just like feed balls and just work on whatever you want.
And it's a bullish indicator for Ryan and Max's future because I'm paying for their hitting partner.
They're
going to be
And it's a
hitting so
rising
many
tide.
balls.
You guys, the trio, it's a rising tide.
Yeah.
And
And they make me pay for everything.
Especially for the mid to like high level pros who have the resources and obviously the need to do it, whether it's specificity or reps. Like, I think you've done a good job of showing like it's not even selfish. It just like makes sense to do this stuff. It like works directly for your game, and you're leaving no stone unturned, which I think is really awesome. For like trying to advance and push the ceiling and optimize and go from a B- to a B.
Yeah.
Next month B to B plus.
I mean, the first step was
But then
less
there's
close.
a lot of pros who've got like are getting good paychecks, or
For
like
sure.
whether it's through the contracts or brand deals, and it's like, okay, if you spent $400 in a weekend to be at your prime working on something for like the combo that you really want to feel confident in, the round of 32 busting out in game, like do it. You should be selfish, and there's not enough selfish pros right now. I think people
I
are
got
finding
you.
their footing. No, I know, but I feel like no, there needs to be
No,
like
I think-
more.
Totally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I think that's smart. It's more people should do something like it, or with a coach, or with something. Because like when we're playing with each other, you kind of feel bad like to ask to do like a
Right.
very specific thing, and like one thing, like a big thing, like in your favor, you work very hard. Like you like on court, off court, like you do a lot, like we said, a lot of like touches guy or reps guy. Like with Kyle, or if it's during a DC tournament than me, or like whoever, you're just gonna find somebody and get more reps. So it's good if those reps are very specified and just like exactly
deliberate,
What,
yeah.
deliberate
I-
and what you need. It will just a better practice. It's
My hot take is even the best pros are playing too much rec, and MLP teams are practice scrimmaging too much.
Yeah.
Like it just feels so. There's so much. Like when you think of it, and like one match is fine. There's like an hour and a half, 2 hours before, but then it's like you got 5 matches, you got 6 matches.
I think
It-
that for the rec before MLP, I think it depends. Each person team is different. Like when we're
Yeah.
getting
I
there,
think
it's
generally,
like,
like the real concern for folks should be like, I need to dial in my drops really well because against this team, who we know we're playing, like I need to do it really well, or like we're gonna have to go cross court dinking all day. If you spend 20 minutes, 30 minutes doing that, I think you'd be better than like understanding the middle
Yeah.
ball, the theoretical middle ball,
Yeah,
when you've
no.
already played 18 matches with this
For
person.
sure, I think it's also situational. One depends on practice courts. Like the last one, we didn't have much, so we couldn't do like much of like the individual
Right, you
stuff.
couldn't
but
break
more,
out,
more
but-
rec. But in most events we can. But still, like that's a lot of the stuff we do at home when we're like working on a specific shot. And once we're there, like a day or two before, it's more. Again, I'm speaking like for myself. Like
Yeah,
when
you
I'm
seem-
drilling a lot more at home, and once I get to a tournament, it's a lot more games just to get the like. For me, just like to see the ball better, or to see the game better, and to feel better with how I'm playing
Yeah.
the game itself. Some people don't need that. Like I know Ben and Colin, they never play any rec games, and that's what works for them. Personally, like I do drill a lot, and we drill a lot
Yeah.
together. But like we do it like up until like 3 days before the tournament. Once I'm here, the first day I would drill a little bit to get the feel of the place, and then would play honestly personally as many games as possible to kind of get the feel and the movement of it.
That's how I feel too. Yeah, I mean, there's a few things. I think for me, I definitely drill a lot. I like to get a lot of touches. Just like Dekel said, like I work definitely extremely hard. I'm always working in some capacity. Like I'm never not working. Like whether it's like with the coaching business or anything, who cares? We already talked about that. I'm only always working. And I would say definitely getting a lot of touches, but I think at least playing like 6, maybe 5 or 6 good games per day, like the 2 days before the tournament. I think mostly men's. I think practicing mixed, maybe just play one. As long as your T is high, you'll play good games. You know what I mean? Like mixed is just has always come more natural for me anyway.
Yeah.
Like I think, shout out to Rachel. We won 8 straight mixed matches
That's
in
awesome.
MLP,
Yeah, you guys-
except for the last
you
one.
were killing it. Yeah.
We lost the last one though because Anna Lee, just too good. Will played great also, but mixed is different. Maybe 1 or 2 mixed games a day. Really, I feel like you got to get good men's reps, at least 4 good men's games, day before and 2 days before. That's how I feel. I mean, that's what I have written down in my notes.
What pros? We got a few more minutes here, but what pros training are you most inspired by, and why is it Kwong's?
Yeah, so I'm not gonna say Kwong. I have another pro.
You were just saying Kwong.
Well, no, that's
know.
the real answer.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
the
yeah.
real answer of the pro who I'm most inspired by is Bao Duong.
Oh, okay.
Bao Duong, he is selfless. He's a team player. And the first person that I wanted to hire as my hitting partner was Bao Duong. Bao's dad said, no, Bao is ours, no price, you can't buy Bao. I tried to buy Bao because Bao is a guy who, I mean, he's all for the team. You see Kwong out there grinding, and Bao is just standing. Bao doesn't want to be out there. He's out there.
With you, he would want to be out there.
Exactly.
He's the teenager that has hit the most pickleballs in the world.
100%.
By far. Like he is.
Well,
he has struck up.
Kwong is still a teenager.
That's true.
That's true. 18 and below, he is the person in the world who has struck the pickleball the most.
And he doesn't look like he really is that enthused by the prospect of playing.
He grind. He's a
but
grinder.
he's out there grinding, so I respect it, and that's my player I'm most inspired by.
And Bow, he's gassing you up, not knowing that that's my men's partner this week.
Wait,
Yes.
you're playing men's?
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we should have kicked it off. With
When
this.
do you play, and how can I watch?
We're playing tomorrow, main draw.
What court?
I don't know yet.
I
haven't
need
looked.
to figure. How do you not, dude? You're playing. This is your chance.
I mean, I've been in the main draw before.
But with Bow?
But
Not
Bow?
with Bow.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna watch.
We like to
See
say
that.
making balls, but I think our team name's going to be making bow.
No, it should be bow down.
We should both be on
Bow
their
down.
bench.
That's
We
good.
should both be on their bench.
Oh, I'll be there. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna
Yeah.
feed bow balls.
Yeah, no, so it's very exciting.
I'll bow down for
It's
Bow.
come together last minute. I wasn't even planning on playing Virginia Beach, and we got together, and we got some practice games in, and yeah, we're gonna have to make balls tomorrow. It's gonna be fun. But two last things. You're on the record as saying I think the power in the game needs to come down a little bit, and I think when I heard you say it, it was like slightly below 002, like 002.
I think so. Yeah.
And whether that, again, we've got a Yola guy here, a Selkirk guy, unsigned by like Paddletech, but everybody's in consensus that this needs to be toned down.
Yeah. Is it okay if my answer's like not that long, but kind of long? Because there's a couple things that I really should talk about. I'm not gonna make it
Okay,
too long.
cool.
I mean, it's just kind of I don't want to drag it out.
Well, let me drag it out first by saying I hooked you up tonight
Yes.
because Colin Schick is walking around as a Selkirk guy, and he's got new Selkirk paddles, 2 distinctly new ones, and no one else has them. Kwong doesn't have them. No one else has them, and I'm brokering. And James doesn't even know
I didn't
that these
even
things.
know.
He didn't even know.
But you know what?
So
Probably.
Colin
happened?
walks in the lobby, and I'm like, James, you got that? You got what Colin's got? And he's like, what do you mean? And so Colin takes out his back, shows it to him. He may be playing with him. He's getting him overnighted. So if you have a good result this week, shout out to Ahmed, but also shout out to Ryan for the new 007.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, so everyone's trying to upgrade and get new stuff going. But what's your answer to
Well,
power?
Okay.
And where?
You know what might have happened with the Selkirk too? I think. So Ava, so it gets sent to my parents' house because I'm never at my actual house because I'm always out and about, and it's like if you get something sent there, it could get taken. So I get all the Selkirk stuff sent to my parents' house. Ava steals my stuff. I think they probably sent it because Ava might have the 007. I don't have it. So
Ava.
hopefully Ava goes and signs somewhere else, and then I don't have that problem anymore. But I don't think. Okay, so you asked if I think that it needs.
Well, I think you're on
to
record
be-
as saying it should.
Yeah.
I believe it should be toned down.
Well, okay.
But
I
I
don't
wanna
think
know
it
what.
needs necessarily to be at the level of like below an 002, maybe even like a Power Air or something like
Yeah.
that. Might not need it. I personally think that the best pickleball product for the fans would be maintaining the grit, maybe even bringing the grit up by an extra, 5
yeah.
or 5%, 10% even. A lot of grit, and then Power Air pop at most. Because I just have a feeling that those points, especially in men's doubles, would be so much more fun. And then the last point there is letting players, I don't know, serve it pretty hard. I think that might actually make it. If you really think about it, we're way, way overpaid. We don't deserve what we're getting. I mean, Ryan's, unsigned. Even he's probably overpaid somehow. It's just.
It's true. I shouldn't even be paid to commentate.
Yeah, like, I don't
It's
even
I
know.
should be paying the tour to commentate.
It's just it's absurd. Like there's really not a lot of people watching, and if you look at, for example, Padel's got way better viewership. The Padel, for example, the number 1 Padel player in the world's got 1 million Instagram followers. 1 million, significant, and those are probably mostly real instead of ours.
Wow.
If you
Wow,
look at-
James.
James,
we're trying to grow the
yourself.
game here. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not even close, and yet those guys salaried by the league, the money that they're getting from the league is less than what we're getting. So it's just
Yeah.
it's crazy, and I've already done all the research. So anyway, okay, so that brings me to the next point. All we really, I think, should focus on is as long as we preserve the fun of the game. We don't want
Yeah.
the game to not be fun anymore because we really are leaning on rec participation.
Yes.
I think as
Yeah.
long as rec participation, because will pickleball ever be the spectator sport that football is? No. I was just watching football yesterday. I don't play football. I don't have a fantasy team. And I was watching and I was like, this is fun and engaging. There's freak athletes on the field. You don't know what's going to happen. Pickleball will never be that. It's true. We're just gonna lean on.
No, I said we're here for candor and humor.
Yeah, so we need to lean on rec. So we need to make sure that rec pickleball is always fun.
Yeah.
And I am a little concerned that if power, not meaning to look at that YOLO while I say it, but if if paddles are super powerful, at least from because I'm boots on the ground, Ryan. I'm boots on the ground.
You're
I'm here
in it.
at these clinics. I have seen
Done the
there's.
most clinics of any pro.
I'll say this: there's not a single player
He's
in
the
the
new
top
Tyson.
20.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a single player in the Premier League that has personally interacted and played with more 3-5s than me this
Or
year.
hit them.
And it's exactly not even
Yeah,
close.
bagged.
So I'm
Yeah.
speaking to them. I'm figuring out what they think, and they're all like, "These paddles are just scary. Their paddles are too powerful." That's the only thing. They're not talking about the serve. Nobody's saying the serve needs to be de-weaponized. There's not a single 3-5 that's got such a powerful serve.
Yeah.
And are there more 3-5s or 5-0 pluses? Way more 3-5s.
3-5s.
Not even close.
The lifeblood.
So we need
Yeah.
to make sure that they are happy.
Yep.
And that means the serve's fine. Grit, they're never complaining about. They like to spin the ball. It's fun for them. But if they're going against a Gearbox Pro, not to Gearbox is amazing, whatever. Not to like I don't
The
want
new
to call
the
them.
new gen.
The
of
powerful
pop
paddles,
and power.
That's what they're saying. Like especially the older people are like, I need to wear masks and whatever. So that's point number one. So that's
Great point.
yeah. We need to make sure they're having fun, and the only thing they're complaining about across the board is power. Next thing, the game I think would be more fun to watch, especially women's
Hands
game.
battles.
Yeah, the women's game is
Like-
fun no matter what.
Yeah.
But just like you said,
Yeah.
I mean, Ryan, for example, Ryan's able to actually win a hands battle against Dekel. That shouldn't happen. And I'm serious. It shouldn't happen. And I'm watching it. We're playing rec, and Ryan, no tennis background, Dekel, incredibly talented, but Ryan's got an extremely powerful paddle tech. And if you put in Ryan's
Wow.
And I'm
hands,
playing with,
This
I
is
have
a-
no power.
This is a detour. I like it.
it just doesn't feel right. I think
I
the
know his
game,
patterns.
the hands battles are going to be longer. Game's
Yes.
going to be more fun. I think if we had super spinny, but power air level pop, maybe. I don't want to use examples from we'll just say power air.
Sure.
That's more fun to watch.
It is.
Yeah, and to be honest, if I were you and I had the choice of, I don't know if I were you, but like you as a player, like you have the most power on tour, in my opinion, like from just like, just like this.
We're gonna finish with the.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So if I were you, I would just say, hey, the least amount of power ever, because you can just create it yourself, and then you would be,
Yes.
you would be number one in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so basically Dekel's saying my point is selfish.
No.
I'm
joking, I'm
saying,
joking.
Yeah.
I'm saying if you were selfish,
No.
then
I would be making the exact same point
A
that I'm
man
making.
struggling to get a compliment from another
You'd
man.
be like way less than the power air even. Like whatever, just let's play.
Maybe.
With,
Yeah, that's true.
You'd
Maybe
be
we-
well served if power generation was a skill, because you have the skill through timing and/or strong wrist and.
mostly wrist strength.
All right, so
Let's go.
Before we finish with that, then I have.
Oh, one sec. I felt a little bit of coldness from James. Yeah.
On what?
What did I do?
Oh,
I interrupt. I want to apologize.
yeah.
I want to apologize for interrupting your men's match warm up on championship court.
Yeah. I was
Because that was a harsh look.
You mean
And-
on grandstand?
I looked
No.
at you
Championship
like
court.
when we were warming up for. What, wait, what are you talking about?
when we were on championship in
New York MLP.
Yeah.
and you,
The proposal happens.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
you're on
okay.
video and in photos of like you're the only person not smiling or you're like
I
this.
didn't
You're like
know it
he's
was
like this.
you.
He's like this. Like and Dekel and him are
He's
trying to
taking
get
my warm-up time.
yeah.
Well, guess
Your
what?
knees.
Ryan Harwood and Annalee's like, oh, like fans are like this, and I don't mean to make this about me, but it was a very funny thing because you pan to the right side of the photo, and James is like, he's like, what the fuck is this guy doing here? So I wanted to apologize because
Well, it's okay. Sorry.
you're a big touches
No, that's why
guy,
we lost, right?
right?
Two
You're a big
things.
touches guy, and I interrupted your kitchen dinking with that goal.
And also, I didn't know it was you.
I mean,
Ask Dekel.
how do you not?
Like
Oh.
2-3 days later, now in DC, I think.
I had no
Yeah.
idea.
Oh, wow.
I told him like you got engaged. Like wait, that was Ryan.
I wasn't paying
Oh
attention.
my god,
That's how
He was not
focused I
aware.
am.
this guy's not
No,
dialed.
he-
This guy's not
He's
dialed.
too dialed. He's too dialed on court.
Yeah.
There to win. That's it.
We already have so
That's
much
how it should
good
be.
content and memories about it that I don't need to make any more about it, but it would be a very funny pan because it was like people elated seeing this thing and then Jimmy's just like,
I'm not really.
what the hell?
No, I'm proud
I
of
know.
you. I'm happy
No,
for
it's
you,
cool.
but that wasn't my priority.
For
my
sure.
priority was to hit dinks, and I also didn't know who you were at the time. I
That's
thought it
for
was-
sure.
I
You
honestly-
didn't recognize me from the back.
No, my only.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, I was
You
just
wouldn't.
like, who is this random dude? Like, I'm trying to hit dinks,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like, I cannot hit dinks. That's all through and I want to hit dinks, and I can't.
That's right.
So am I
That's
going to be a
right.
happy guy? No.
And that's
That's
why
right.
And that's why you chose Kyle for your private island.
Yes, dinks, check. Kyle will check off that box.
Were you gonna get to grandstand rec?
Yeah, I thought that's where you were going.
No, I wasn't gonna go there because
We
he
can
was
go
already
there,
he's already
we can
taking
go
he's
there.
already taking a shot.
We don't have to go there.
He was already taking the shot that I shouldn't be winning hands battles, but
Yes, Ryan was winning many hands battles. He was
Against
he was-
Dekel, not me.
Against me, of course. Ryan played.
okay.
Ryan is a very
I
good
don't-
player. Whoever
Let me
does
see.
I don't
know-
like brag. I don't
No,
like
Ryan-
bringing
Ryan-
up rec play though. It's his main draw. If Bao and I win, then that's a real like notch in the cap. You know,
Alright, good. But Ryan
Hunter
has-
Johnson and I beating Dekel and James in a very focused rec match is kind of fun.
Whoa,
But it's
okay,
not.
okay,
focused.
Let's start with we won, but they won a game. Let's
Yeah,
start
didn't
with
we
that.
win
The
the
games were good. They played really
25,
well.
23, 25, 23.
Ryan was playing lights out. That's the best I've seen Ryan play, and he can play even better if
Sure.
he keeps.
Let me
He's
say
improving super
This is
fast.
important.
So I hope him and Bao have a huge run this week.
I will say this to the community. After that game, we lost a game to Ryan, and I asked two people. One of them was Dekel. I was like, what is Ryan's background? How is he so good? He's got to be some sort of freak athlete. And that's
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
said. I was like, this guy is, and so if you haven't seen Ryan play,
He
which
is a freak athlete.
I'm sure you haven't really seen him play. There's no reason to have. But I would say that if you haven't,
Not on the stream.
Ryan is impressively good. I was shocked, and I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart. I mean, he's a complete freak athlete. I don't know if it's like one of the things I've noticed with freak athletes, they're bald at a really high rate. And that's a serious thing. Being bald and being
Sure.
athletic, there's a
NFL,
correlation.
NBA, you know.
So I know, and that's
Shout
one
out to
thing.
AJ Kohler too.
There you go.
I mean, he's got freaky fast hands for a
100%.
hockey guy.
And so do you.
Yeah.
Maybe
Ah,
it's baldness.
It's fine. I'm working on it.
So I
I'm
was
working on
shocked.
it.
No, seriously, I was
Yeah.
impressed.
No, it's
and I was
fun.
shocked.
I just try to play as best I can. I don't have the Max Freeman tennis touch because the way I see him play, I'm like, man, 7 months. It's taking
there's
me
a
2
ceiling.
years of focused effort to even be reasonably competitive.
There's
But,
a
no,
ceiling with Ryan's game.
there is a ceiling. For sure.
But as for what you have, your background, it's truly.
But if I
very
devote
impressive.
fully to the right side in men's, I think
could.
the ceiling is actually a notch higher. I'm not trying to be
No, I'm serious.
a left side.
I agree.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be. I didn't mean that in a mean way. No, I was actually trying to be nice that time.
No, it's very funny how that came about. But we can save that for another time. Last thing.
Before we go to the wrist stuff,
Yeah.
and just how James does his magic. Anyway.
Whoa. My
Uh,
magic with my wrist.
yeah. Anyway,
Ooh,
I
that's
have two questions. Truth or false? I can't even speak.
He starts thinking about what I do with my wrist, and he can't focus.
we went to dinner with Dekel.
Oh, no.
We went to
Yes,
dinner with
I-
Dekel with Josh and Vivian and Carolyn in New York. It's a stupid story, but he was like describing something. He was like, in a world, so in a world in truth or dare, truth or false.
Sometimes I show that I can't speak English correctly.
It's okay.
My accent shows. Anyway.
Sorry, I didn't mean it. Now I look like a dick, but it's okay.
No, what a dick.
Right?
What a dick.
No, he's not the only
Two
one.
pick on the fourth
Okay.
kid.
True or
Didn't
false?
Viv
Two
say you
questions.
can't
Here we
speak
go.
English? Or somebody else said that this past week.
The what?
Either Viv or Rachel was like, "Yeah, Dekel just can't speak English." Who said that?
There was I had a group chat with them that I said like I had like a typo and it was like it made no sense and then I went back and like corrected it because it was not a typo like an autocorrect. Anyway, so they both kind of said that.
I think his English is better than mine. Probably is.
Sure. All right. True or false? Your sticker on the paddle keeps falling off because all the vibration in your body and it goes to the paddle.
It's falling off because that wrist so strong.
So false.
False.
Because-
I mean, honestly, I don't know. Actually, I think it's got something to do
Sweat
with
and
the
vibration.
the sweat and the jumping and also the actual surface itself.
Okay.
Like if you try to take it off of like one of these, it'll be tough to take off. But with the power, like right away, you can just take it right off. Like
Does it
doesn't
rip
stay.
the spray on grit off with it?
I don't know. I mean, I think the
Okay,
Selkirk
next
grit is so
question.
good.
True or
The
false?
Selkirk grit is so good. It just wants to follow the tape. You know what I mean? It's like
Next question. Is it true that you have stolen my socks, my used socks, and you wear them on occasion?
on occasion. Okay, so this is. Let me just give some context here because the people at home are gonna have a lot of questions about about why I would steal another man's socks when I can buy my own.
Use
I'm
socks.
still asking the same question. Why?
Yeah, so let's just take a quick step back here. So the first answer is yes. The socks that Dekel brought to MLP Atlanta, we had this whole, Adam, who is doing everything right. He's unbelievable and amazing. There was a little bit of a mix-up with the laundry. And that's what I was told. Anyway, all I know is my hands got on Dekel's socks. Dekel's socks got on my hands. And I had those socks. I had about 6 of them. And I had 2 options. Do I give these socks back that feel so good in my hand? Or do I just wear them and see if I want to give them back? I decided to wear them and say, okay, am I going to give these back or not?
Did you wear them on your hands or your feet?
I started off with the hand. I've put them on a bunch of different things, and they were good everywhere. So I put them on my feet. I taught a clinic. I sent you a picture.
Yes.
I was like, dude, these are the best. I mean, they feel amazing. And then I decided, okay, I deserve to keep these socks because I'm going to appreciate them. And then the fact that they're used, the fact that you've sweat in them, right? I mean, because socks can get really sweaty and crusty.
Wow.
And
Very sweaty, very smelly.
for sure. And I can still feel a little of Dekel's crust, and the fact that there's some
Okay.
crust on those socks, it really means something.
Competitive crust.
It means something.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels more than competitive. It feels special. And sometimes I'll rub my hands on the crust of the socks. But yeah, I've worn them about 23 times.
About.
Do you have is there a special brand of sock that you wear?
So shout out to Lotto. Lotto still provide the socks for me. They're great socks.
Wow.
Shout out to Lotto.
Yeah, as Jimmy
Shout out to Lotto.
says and knows, and yeah. Thanks,
Cushiony, crusty,
Lotto.
everything.
They're not crusty. They're great. They're soft.
Well, no, I mean,
they're,
after, either way, I mean, they're just unbelievable. I mean, trust me.
This podcast has gone off the
It
rails.
might have more to do with Dekel than the socks.
All right, let's move on to the
Okay.
our last question.
We want serious answers here. 'Cause we want.
Is that why you brought me on? For serious answers?
This is the
Only
only
for
thing.
this.
This is the only thing.
Until now,
This is the
it's
only.
serious.
Dekel was
Now-
like, "Should we have James on?" I'm like, "Yeah, but if he can answer this stuff."
Okay, I tried my
No,
best.
it's
I
fine.
tried to
No,
be
this is great.
This
This
is the most
has been
serious
fun.
I've ever
This
been.
has been fun. It's gone longer than we usually do because it's been good.
Yeah.
When it comes to wrist training, it's a component of having hands, not necessarily fast hands, but strong hands, right? Like that wrist.
Wrist strength is definitely that.
Right. And so
Let's start-
what is the James? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, let's start. So Ryan asked me a couple of times who do I think has the best hands in pickleball? So every time like the question is it's like maybe J-Dub because he has like the fast hands, but for me when we're doing heads up a lot, right? You have the most sheer power once you get a hold of the ball. So I would say there's power and there's also fast hands. I feel like there's also anticipation. Anyway, I feel like when you get a hold of the ball and really, I would say you have the most fastest hands, or with the most power as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
it's
you
not
want
a-
to know what
yeah.
I do with my wrist?
Yeah.
Yes. So,
Wrists and
And it
forearms.
seems it comes from your wrists and your forearms and maybe a lot of caffeine,
Mhm.
or you're jumping or whatever it is. But
Mhm.
a lot of it comes
Or just
from,
lucky anticipation.
from
you know,
here.
usually
I
the
think it's
ball's
also
momentum.
on your fourths, for example. You probably do the best job with force, which helps you a lot in mixed as well, but men's also.
Thank you. Yeah, no, okay, I'll give you the real serious answer.
And what have you tried and not stuck with? That's the other thing I want to know.
Okay. So the quick backstory. I'll make it quick. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
no, it's
Okay.
fine.
So I was actually 2 years ago. If you can pull up YouTube, I had no backhand flick. I was a two-handed backhand player. Only Declan might remember this from the first time we ever played.
Yes, and I loved that match. You and Anna, and I played with
Beer City.
Yeah,
You
Beer
played
City
with,
Meg Charity, and
Yeah, you just picked up a local 5-0 and beat us. It was crazy.
shout out Meg. Meg,
No, she played great, I feel.
Meg played great, but yeah, it was a very different Jimmy.
Yeah, I had
at
no
that time.
anything out of the air, and so anyway,
Only two hands, yeah.
only two hands, no wrist strength, whatever. And then I was watching some players. I was practicing with J-Dub sometimes, and he was
Nice.
doing some crazy flicks. And I was like, J-Dub, what do you do for your wrist strength? And he had some other ideas that we're not going to get into.
I'm
Sure,
Sure,
we're not.
J-Dub was just. Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, so I didn't take his advice, but I said, okay, what can I do that is more you know, what's the right thing to do
Yeah.
that's actually going to help my wrist strength? So I decided to just start taking weights. I do 3 workouts. Take the weight. I don't know if I can hold that paddle.
We're gonna use an Anchor battery back.
Okay, so you sit down, you do this one, right?
And are you doing that at like 10 pounds?
Okay, so actually I started off with 10s.
Yeah.
I started off doing it with a 10, and then I kept doing it and just did it 4 times a week, sometimes 5 times a week for a whole year and a half. And now my wrists and forearms are insanely strong. And I can do this with I'll do it with like a 30.
Wow.
So everybody's
That's
like,
crazy.
yeah, so
That's insane.
it's funny. People, and I'm not that strong anywhere else, and people at the gym will look at me like, what's wrong with that guy? Like I literally will take a 30 and do this and this and this one. And your wrist and forearm can improve a lot in strength. It's kind of like your neck, I feel like.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
people don't realize how much. I mean, Ryan's got a thick neck.
Your neck?
Yeah, your
Yeah,
neck.
no,
Can,
like wrestlers and boxers do
Okay.
it, but you like roll back on it. They have those
Okay.
like weird Instagram ads where you can like use the harness. Like,
Yeah, like I feel like so. Anyway, it got way stronger, and that was a huge thing for me. Like just
so
you
on
know,
to be clear, so it's the lift up,
yeah,
and then the
this one,
Yeah.
and then you take it and you go here.
yeah,
You can be kind of loose with it. You want to
Got
be
it.
like pretty loose and like kind of treat it like, you know, it's kind of similar to that
Yeah.
motion. And
Throwing
then
it, yeah.
this one, just curl. Try not to use your forearm too much. This is mostly just for the wrist.
okay,
Yeah, so you don't want to get your forearm too involved. And I feel like if you do those, I did it 5 times a week. Nowadays, I do it like 3 or 4 times a week because like, I don't know how much more I really need it.
Yeah.
It's kind of just getting
Yeah.
fun, you know, just to see how strong I can,
That's
my
cool.
wrist can get. And that's a hugely important thing because you think about even the serve. I feel like I started hitting the serve a lot harder too because
Yeah.
a lot of it is this here. So the serve, I mean, so much in pickleball comes from the forearm and the wrist. It's way different than in tennis.
Yeah.
So
Even like here, like this, like the counter on the forehand when you're sitting back and you're, yeah,
Everything.
it's all like little motions. It's not, you're not using your whole, like in tennis it's mostly like shoulder,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
100%.
cool.
All right, well,
Have
that's
you
it.
ever heard of the rice bucket?
Oh yeah. So Dekel was telling me you do some weird stuff with a rice bucket.
No, we can get it. We'll show you later. When you come to Austin in the lab.
I don't think I want to.
No, we've done.
I don't wanna see your
I used to
private
do it
wrist
for
workout.
lacrosse. We've done similar stuff to that. And then if you're just handling weights, your forearms in kind of good shape. But the wrist, I've been trying to get a little bit more generally like holistic with. So the rice allows you to manipulate the rice with like clockwise movements, counterclockwise, like cupping it, like just basically like 360 degrees. And then the biggest thing is extension. So like you get into the rice and then you push out from it, and so it works. Our extensors because we're always gripping phones and weights and paddles, you know.
Yeah.
Where it's like, but it was just interesting because I've heard you talk about it. But anyways, well, we talked about Jimmy the brand, the platform, his year, his Virginia Beach plans, his training, DC, and
I didn't even get
All
to talk
of
about
it.
my MLP team. I thought you guys were gonna say, "What do you feel about?" I mean,
How do you feel about your MLP team?
well, actually, we know he holds up MLP generally in higher regard. Okay. Well, I mean, give us
No, I'm just joking. I don't really care.
like okay.
You don't care about us?
No,
You guys,
Oh my God.
wow. That's
Alright, we're
and
done.
folks, thank you for tuning in to Raise the Bar with James Ignatowich.
Oh, let me say one thing. One of the funniest, because I don't watch this podcast. Not that I mean, if once Dekel has his, I'll probably.
Next week. You'll
Yeah,
talk about
so
that next week.
no, I would watch Bar, but anyway, one of the funniest podcast moments that I've seen, and I sent this to everybody I knew. I thought it was so funny. The moment where Dekel and Viv were talking about me in Beer City. When they were saying how, like, so you guys should tune in and check that one out if you haven't watched it, because that was hilarious. Like, James doesn't show his teammates and he doesn't even notice his teammates. It was the funniest, like, 2-minute thing about me ever. So just wanted to say that was actually funny. And if you didn't think this one was funny, then check that one out.
Cool. Well, thank you, James. Good luck this week. Crush it.
Yep, you too. You're the one that.
I need it.
This is your
Bow
moment.
and I. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us, Jimmy.
It's juicy tidbit time from Raise the Bar. This is Dekel Bar, Ryan DeWidgeon, Pickleball. We want to teach you how to do the scorpion. Sometimes it's a pancake, but mostly the scorpion. Dekel is doing it at New York City MLP quite successfully. I was very intrigued. Carlos does it here at the lab. Zane does it at the lab. I barely do it. I want to know how to do it. You may want to know how to do it too. It's a really, it is an athletic, fun, defensive kind of counter, but that is quite aggressive. And if you connect on it, it can be an outright winner. It's really cool. And again, it's something to think about as you approach rec or league. But the gist is, on the scorpion, you're low with your body, and your paddle's out in front of you, and you're trying to get down on an attack that's your opponent is using. But let's describe when to do the scorpion, Dekel.
Yeah, so mostly it'll be when my opponent is hitting the ball below the net from the air in front of me. So that's when I'm going to be in my good ready position, a little bit lower, and ready to hit the shot in case they're about to hit that shot at me.
And why don't you show them what it looks like to be a 6'3.5" man, getting low. It's not doing a poop squat, but it's not standing as tall. Tell them a little bit about it.
Right, for sure. So I'm just going to be at first in a nice athletic position. I'm not going all the way down before my opponent is hitting the shot. So I'm here in a nice athletic position. And then if I see my opponent hitting it, then I go down more and hopefully slap the ball to their feet.
And when he says opponent going for it, it doesn't mean I'm trying to speed up off the bounce. It means I'm reached in, looking for a ball that's still below the net, but I'm going to be kind of trying to use a backhand flick or roll. You don't necessarily want to do it when it's off the bounce or a drive. It's really when there's a settled kitchen point and you think someone's going to be attacking there, and that's when you're going into it.
Right. So I'm also not going to do it when the ball is above the level of the net, because then you can, one, get more power to it, but also get it down, and it's a lot harder for me to do if it's getting below the level of the net on my side. So only going to do it when it's below the level of the net on your side when you're hitting it.
And one last thing, this is similar to the Ernie that we just learned in the last Juicy Tidbit. This, if you show it, again, you don't necessarily win the point, but it brings a lot of mental and visual pressure to your opponent, who knows that they may not want for a ball that sits up to go to that same spot. So if you provide this, that registers with opponents a lot more than just knowing you may try to protect your chicken wing. If you're out here, you're trying to match offense with offense, and that's going to seep into their mind.
Yeah.
So let's dink. You give me a high dink, I'll try to roll it,
yeah.
And then we'll show you one more. Oh, maybe we'll leave that in. Give me one more. Ow! Ooh. And we'll do it.
What was that?
I don't know. Oh!
Got him.
Okay. Let's do a slow-mo. Dekel, great slow-mos. You absolutely are crushing me with the Scorp. I get it. What do people typically do wrong when it comes to the Scorpion?
Okay, I would say some of them go get too low too early, and then you're stuck in this situation. Because obviously it's low, and we're not as explosive from here than we are from here. Here I can move anywhere. So if I get low, I'm not going to jump or get to different situations fast enough. So then people, hit to the side of us, and we're not going to be able to get it. So you really want to go for it, get to that low position only right after or as Ryan is hitting the shot.
Yeah. Do you typically do this from the right side or the left side?
I personally do it on both sides, but more when
special cookie.
On the left side, I would do it more when the ball is coming from the right of me. If I'm playing the right side, then it's kind of when it's in front of me or to the right of me. So yeah, it depends.
Why don't we see more Scorpions?
I think a lot of it is people's grips. People who play with a continental grip and don't change grips at all, it's very hard to do with a continental grip, just physically. You want to do this with a semi-Western grip. It's okay if you play with a continental grip. I would just recommend for this specific shot to change it to a semi-Western. So it's a little bit easier for you to have your paddle face towards your opponent.
So as a reminder, continental is like you're gripping a hammer. It's kind of just straight on. but it makes it quite hard to do that scorpion pancake-esque motion. Some people use 1 or 2 hands here, but as they go into it, you want to manipulate your hand around it so you're more out in front. Again, this is slightly sophisticated, but a lot of people are playing with semi-Eastern, semi-Western, shout out Kwong, and everyone who wants to apply more topspin. But if you're straight continental, it's going to be really hard unless you're some crazy bone-edge tendons. But here, we're going to want to kind of rotate our hand around to get out in front and get that paddle down.
Yeah, I think another thing, you do have to be a little bit flexible just to get down low, and also recognize, I think people, it's kind of like the Ernie, where people don't do it enough, in my opinion. They should try this, try to learn the recognition of it, the timing of it, and the execution of it. The more you do it, the better you'll do it. So try it out.
Yeah, it's obviously a physical shot and skill, but it really starts with the mentality that you can do this, you want to do it, and knowing what situations to do it in. So
yeah, and just one more thing. Sorry, Ryan, stay with me.
Okay.
I would just say this is another option for you guys. It's not like, oh, now I'm gonna counter everything with the score. Covering your body with a backhand and just countering in different ways, very important too. This is another tool for your toolbox to show your opponents what you can do, and maybe cover yourself, cover your body in different situations. So just another thing for you guys to add, not like, okay, I'm just gonna counter like this every single time.
Well said. Nothing to add there. Thank you for tuning in to Raise the Bar. This was the Juicy Tidbit. We'll catch you soon.